I'd like to bring out another customer whose company has really embodied this concept of industry cloud complete that we're going after. So let me introduce CIO of Endries International, Mr. Todd Fisher. What's up, Todd?
Hey, Rick.
So Todd, hey, what's the... Just kidding, not for us. So Todd, why don't you just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, your history at Endries, and your history with Infor?
Sure. Again, Todd Fisher, and I've been with Endries for 32 years, CIO there. Endries, when I started, was about $15 million company, now over $500 million. So we had a great journey over the last 32 years. And Endries is a supplier of fasteners, Class C materials to original equipment manufacturers. And we provide advanced VMI solutions as well as engineering and quality support.
Yeah, awesome. And what's been your journey? What products are you using with Infor today, and what's been your journey to the cloud?
Yeah, so we started back in '94. I don't know if anybody's from that far back, but Trend, if people remember that. We started with, basically became SX Enterprise. And we are moving that into the cloud now, actually in a few months. We also use SCE, or WM, WMS, and we went live yesterday with Nexus, so pretty exciting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. So, and I was here, so I was my phone blew up. My battery was dead by the end of the day, but it went perfect. What it was everybody was happy what was going on. So really excited about that. That's going to take us really good places with our supply chain. And then of course, Infor OS, we use that heavily. A lot of workflows. It's real exciting for us. And really that next step was going into the AI and robotic process automation. So that's really kind of where we're at today.
Yeah, obviously you were an early adopter of a lot of these value plus solutions. Maybe let's walk through a couple of those examples and let the audience know.
Yeah, so one of the things that the CEO at Endries, he was really believed in technology heavily, and that really weighed a lot in our decisions to move forward. And so what we looked at is AI and robotic process automation, and the challenge was, where the heck do you start? We just didn't know where to start with it. So we saw some things about a year ago with Infor, and we decided to jump on board with that. And so we actually had Infor build our first AI solution. It may be kind of a simplistic thing, but it was very important to us, and it was part matching. And part matching for us was real significant because of the size customers we have, and when they send us a quote, it's not one or two parts, it's 100, 300, 500 parts. And you get their descriptions, and you have to look up the parts one at a time, and it takes a lot of time. So what we were able to do and work with Infor is be able to take their descriptions, send them into the system, and it would identify those and come back with recommendations. So that was real exciting, and we implemented that, and that reduced a significant amount of time on the desks for our salespeople as well as our sourcing people. And then we took that a step further. We do a lot of acquisitions, and with acquisitions, we get thousands of parts. It can be tens of thousands or 50,000 parts, and we could never complete those. It would never. We would actually convert them in and have duplication all over the place. With the new solution, it reduced our time 50% plus on getting that stuff done. So that was so huge for us. So very excited about where that's going, and so we were going to take it another step, and the next step is going into quoting with getting cost. And what we found working with the data science team is that we were able to extrapolate cost based on all of our parts, based on weight, size. We were able to take a cost of a part and actually use it to cost out a different part, not even having to go to our suppliers. We were able to actually determine the cost. So think about the speed to the customer, and that was our goal. How do you speed up quoting to our customers? So that's exciting. We're in that right now. And then from there, that's going to lead into pricing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And one thing I snuck in your session yesterday, and one thing that you brought up, let me correlate this together. You mentioned earlier your CEO is very technology minded, like technology first, how does it impact the business?
Yeah.
And now you guys, you started with some of the Value Plus solutions, but you're doing your own experimentation with some of the tools today. So what's that cross section of like, what's the culture of how do we adopt technology and how are you guys using it today beyond what Infor can provide?
Yeah, so that was exciting. That was a big thing for us because Endries likes to, we like to push the envelope a little bit with technology, and we like to do some things on our own. Now AI was a little tougher. That takes some different skill set, but with the robotic process automation tool, what we did is we took something Midwest Wheel was doing, Proof of Delivery, and we brought that in and started using it. But then what we did is we actually started creating our own RPAs. So we actually created them for contracts that get automatically sent out to our customers, brought back in, and then tied back to the parts. It actually tied them back to our parts in the system. And then we used Infor OS to schedule alerts when those contracts ended. So that was exciting. We did, the additional things we did were, I'm losing my thoughts here.
You're starting to build your own things against existing flows. Is there like a discovery process you guys are going through on that?
So, one of the big ones that we had was our accounting team does a lot of 3PL management, and they enter orders manually. And what we did there is we were able to take, actually go out to the 3PL websites, pull the shipments down, and actually create orders in the system. And that actually, we spent less than 20 hours on creating the RPA, and then we were able to build and save them one person's time for a year. So that was repetitive for them. So we, for 20 hours, we saved an equivalent of one person. And it was an awesome thing. And the funny thing is they actually named the robot. They have a name for it. They call it, say, hey, we need to change to the name of the robot. So.
I love it. So what advice would you give this crowd to follow a similar path?
The big thing I think you have to do is you have to probably get in with Infor, try something out. Lay out some things that you want to do. And what was really cool with the data scientist team, they actually looked at it and they came back and said, you know what, we see some possibilities here with the data. And when we worked with the data scientist team on the AI side of it, they took some of our data and they came back and they were actually able to graph out and say, here's where her sweet spot is, here's where we can help you. And that was pretty exciting. Same thing with the RPA. We worked with the teams and we said, here's some ideas, how can we attack this? And they worked with us on that. So for sure, work with Infor on that, and I think they'll get you where you need to go.
I think why this partnership works really well between Endries and Infor is there's a lot of mutual respect and ambition towards that rapid experimentation towards business result. I mean, you just said you did that in 20 hours and it has a profound impact. Like, you don't hear about that in the industry, but that's really what we mean for the audience when we say industry cloud complete is that story. So Todd, I appreciate it. Thanks for being with us.
You bet.
Thanks everyone.